In this track, there are 4 instruments. One is played by a human, and the other 3 are completely generated using software known as virtual instruments. Can you pick which instrument is played by the human? Stick around. In this video, I'm going to show you the virtual instruments I used to put that together, and I'm going to reveal the one instrument that was played by the person. Stay with us. G'day folks, Troy Dean here from The Music Nerd, where we help you enjoy music more and enjoy more music. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the concept of virtual instruments and how they can be really useful when you just want to get an idea up in the studio. And I'm going to tell you which instrument was played by myself and which ones were programmed using virtual instruments. Let's first of all talk about virtual instruments. You know, sometimes you want to get an idea up in the studio because you want to hear how something sounds, and you've got 2 options really. You can set up a drum kit, mic it up, get in a drummer to come in and play the part that you want, and then mix the drums, and maybe he gets it right, maybe he doesn't. If you want to change things around, you've got to get him back in for another session. That can be a very time-consuming, laborious, and potentially expensive exercise, whereas using a virtual drummer is way faster. And it's the same with keyboards or bass or guitar or brass sections or string sections or just about any instrument you can imagine. So I want to explain how to control a virtual instrument, how you play a virtual instrument, and then I'll let you know which instrument was played by myself and the virtual instruments that I used in this mix. Virtual instruments are played by using what's called MIDI data. MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface, and it's essentially a computer language that was made back in the 80s. I'll make a whole other video on the history of MIDI and the importance of MIDI at some point. But MIDI data, MIDI language, is just used to tell a virtual instrument what to do, which notes to play, for how long, how intense, the volume of those notes, when to release that note, if you're playing a keyboard, whether or not the pedal's down, whether it's up, if you're playing a guitar, whether it's a hammer on or a slide or a pull off, if you're playing a bass, whether it's a slap or a thumb or played with a pick. All of that information can be communicated to a virtual instrument via MIDI data. And MIDI data doesn't make any sound, it just tells the instrument what to do. So let me show you the examples of the virtual instruments that I used in this video and the MIDI data that I used to play them. And spoiler alert, the one instrument that was played by myself in this track was, of course, the electric guitar. I programmed the drums, the bass, and the keyboards. I laid down that bed, and then I picked up my electric guitar and I played over the top of it. I'll show you that in a moment. But right now, let's dig in to my favorite virtual instrument plugins. They're all made by the one company, and the first one I want to show you is my virtual drummer. It is called Superior Drummer 3. All right, now you can see that I've got Logic open here on my computer, which is my digital audio workstation of choice, and I have Superior Drummer plugged into one of my channels. This is not a deep dive tutorial on Superior Drummer, by the way. I'll save that for another video. I just want to show you here the MIDI data, which is on this track, which is telling the drum kit in Superior Drummer what to play, and I want you to see the drum kit playing along as it's being told what to do by this MIDI data. So I'll play a bit of the track and then I'll just solo the drums so you can hear them on their own, because they sound quite remarkable. Okay, now first of all, I'm a drummer. And I know lots of drummers, but to get a drummer to play that groove with that kind of consistency and to mic up a drum kit to sound like that and record a drum kit to sound like that could take a couple of hours. Whereas I was able to do this in less than 10 minutes by using Superior Drummer using one of the MIDI grooves that comes with Superior Drummer here, and choosing one of those MIDI grooves and literally dragging it onto the channel here in Logic. Let me just explain. You'll see these notes down here in the piano roll, and these are the notes that are telling Superior Drummer what to play. So this is a hi-hat, this is another hi-hat, that's a harder hi-hat, that's a softer hi-hat, here's a kick drum, and here's a snare drum. Beautiful sounding drum kit. It is the New York Alair drum kit, which is an extension pack with Superior Drummer. So if you need a drummer, by the way, there are no affiliate links here. I don't get paid to recommend or suggest these products. I'm just showing you what works because I want you to be able to create more music and not be stuck with having to mic up a drum kit. This is not a cheap virtual instrument. I think it's a couple of €100, so it's gonna set you back a bit, but it's well worth it. The MIDI grooves and the samples that come with it mean you'll be able to produce world-class studio sounding drums in a few minutes without even having a drum kit in the studio. All right, that's the drums. Now let's take a look at the bass guitar. All right, let's put some bass guitar down now on this track. Now, as I said, I've got a Rickenbacker bass guitar over there that belongs to my buddy Bart. I could pick that up, plug it in, thumb my way around, try and get something down, but frankly, I'm not very good on the bass guitar, and I'm not great at also dialing up a bass guitar tone because I'm not that experienced. So this product, it's a virtual instrument called Easy Bass. It's made by the same company that makes Superior Drummer 3, Toontrack. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. I don't get paid to recommend these products. I just want to show you what works and what will allow you to get some really cool patterns and grooves happening very quickly in your studio. So Easy Bass, again, just receives this MIDI data that I've got programmed here, and it tells the bass guitar what to play. What I love about Easy Bass is that I can also map out a song structure here and say, this is my intro, and here's my verse, and in the intro, this is my chord progression. F minor, B flat minor, F minor, B flat minor, F minor, B flat minor, C minor, D flat, 7th, and a C minor. And then here's my verse, which is the same chord progression, but you see I've got different patterns here for the intro and the bass. So I literally come to my grooves. I can choose any of these bass patterns. Let's have a listen to this one here. Not very interesting. Let's have a listen to this one here. That's kind of cool. And then I could just grab that MIDI data there and drag it down to a song section, which is what I've done here. And as the playhead moves along, this MIDI data is going to stay in this chord and it's going to tell the bass guitar what to play. So again, let's have a listen. And during this, I'll solo the bass so you can hear it in isolation. So good. Now, it would have taken me hours to do that myself or get a buddy of mine who comes in and knows how to play bass guitar to actually get up a great tone and work out a part. It took me less than 10 minutes. So now I have drums and bass. I have a picture starting to take shape of my song. What do I want to add next? A Rhodes piano. Now, I don't own a Rhodes piano. Sure, I've got a keyboard here that I can play, and I kind of know how to play a little bit of keyboard, enough to get myself into trouble. I can make some basic chord shapes on the piano, but I don't have a Rhodes piano, and even if I did, I'd have to figure out how to mic it up and how to get someone to come in who knows how to play some kind of soulful funk Rhodes piano, which is kind of what I'm looking for here. That's gonna take a long time. It's gonna be expensive to either borrow or rent a Rhodes piano. Like, that's just not gonna happen, right? And so the reality is, without a virtual instrument, it just will not happen. A virtual instrument like Easy Keys allows me to do this very quickly. Again, made by Toontrack, not a sponsored video. I don't get paid, there's no affiliate link here. Just wanna show you what works and show you what works fast. Easy Keys version 2 has just come out recently. The Rhodes, Electric Rhodes Mark II that I'm using here is part of actually an extension that you buy for Easy Keys. And again, it works very similar to the bass. I've got some grooves here that I can have a listen to. Sounds gorgeous. Not what I was going for with this track, so I found some grooves, and again, I just dragged them into the song track here, and I put my chords in, the same chords as in the bass track, so I know that whatever I tell the piano to play here, it's going to be in the right key and it's going to play the right chord at the right time. So again, let's have a listen in context with the song, and then I'll solo it and you can hear it on its own. So good. Like within less than half an hour, I had a drum track, a bass track, and a Rhodes track that is the bed of a song, because what I really want to do is I just want to practice playing funk guitar. I just want to get better at being a funk guitar player. I love funk music. I love Snarky Puppy. I love Wolfpack. I love super clean, dry funk music and funk guitar, and I just want to get better at playing it. And so I could get some backing tracks, but the problem is if I go and buy backing tracks, they're in a particular key, I've got no control over the chord progression. So I want to program my own backing track so that I can practice, and who knows, this might turn into a project, it might turn into a song, it might just be something I do for the pure joy of it. So within a very short space of time, I've got my band playing along, and then I can play some guitar over the top of it like this. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it inspires you to start using some virtual instruments so that you can get your scratch ideas up quickly. The whole purpose of making this video is that I wanted to show you how quickly you can get something up so that it doesn't get in the way of your creativity. Whatever instrument you play, if you've got an idea and you want to put some backing track behind that, whether it's drum, bass, brass, strings, piano, whatever it is, even guitar, go and find a virtual instrument. The ones I'm using are probably top of the line. They're probably some of the most expensive you can get, but there are cheaper ones, and there are also lots of free virtual instruments that you can use. In 2024, when I'm making this video, they sound fantastic. They are world-class samples. They're recorded in beautiful studios. Go and play with some virtual instruments and start creating some more music. And I hope this has helped you understand how MIDI data converses with a virtual instrument and tells it what to play. So you've got full control over the performance, and these MIDI grooves that come with a lot of these virtual instruments will just get you inspired and get your creative juices flowing very quickly. Let me know in the comments what type of videos you want me to make, and I hope this video has helped you enjoy more music. Bye for now.